Hey guys, it's Michael, and today we'll be modeling the pendant light on SketchUp. Today we're working on the pendant light that is symmetrical in shape. So first thing you do is import your image you're tracing from on SketchUp. You create a guideline at the center of the image. As you can see, this is our guideline. You create a guideline at the center of the image, which is going to be your reference points for creating all shapes in the pendant light. Next thing we scale. The next thing we do is to scale our pendant lights according to the dimensions given. So we're working on a pendant light that is 14 inches in diameter. But since we're working from the reference point, which is at the center of the model, we use 7 inches, which is half of 14 inches. Next, we create a circle and increase the segments to have smoother shapes. We divide a circle in half since we're working with just the radius instead of the whole diameter. Make that a group that is going to act as our shade for the pendant light. Next, the next thing we do with our guideline tracing to the canopy of the pendant light, we try to recreate the canopy using the rectangular shape, and we're using more of eye gauge here. But the dimensions for the canopy was given, which is a total of 6.5. So we're going to work with 3/4, which is half of the total length given. So using our line tool, we'll try to recreate the canopy. Next, we try to recreate the pendant cable. We'll create a rectangle from the pendant canopy to the pendant globe, which is going to serve as our pendant cable. Okay, make that a group. It's easier to work with groups since we are creating a shape that is not repetitive. Ensure to always make every shape we are drawing a group, so we don't have shapes messing with each other. Okay, make that edge a little bit smooth. Next, we're creating this little globe shape here, which is also part of the pendant cable. So like I said earlier, we're working with half of the model since the model is symmetrical. So instead of creating the whole circle, we create a semicircle and also make that a group. Then we'll try to make these extended parts of the cable. Okay, so using eye gauge for this. Okay, make this to 1. Then we use the arc tool to create the curved parts that joins those two cables together. So I ensure to always make all curved edges have higher segments, higher than 12, because for SketchUp presently most arc are always divided into 12. So we just have to increase the segment to have a more smooth model. Okay, this also, next we start working on, I think this is a holder for that connects the globe to the pendant cable. So we'll just recreate this using our line tool. So making use of the line tool, and okay, we're making use of the line tool more than every other tool when recreating models like this. So next we try to recreate the bulb holder inside of the globe. Okay, using our line tool, create a rectangle, and to make the edge a little bit smooth, we use the arc tool to create a chamfer for that point, and the holder is not supposed to be closed. We'll come back to that. Okay, also from our reference line we try to recreate the bulb. It's actually easier for you to go on the SketchUp warehouse to download a bulb model, but for this model purpose we'll be recreating the bulb. Might not be as detailed as the one you see on your 3D warehouse, but just bear with me. Next we'll be using our circular tool, also from the reference points, since we're working with half of the model. So using the circular tool, we'll try to recreate the curved edges for the bulb. I'm trying to locate the center point for the bulb. Okay, but first of all, let's take out that line so we don't have a circle being messed with, since we still have to increase the segments of the circle to give us that smooth edge. So we increase the segment. Okay, next we try to create the extension that connects the curved part of the bulb to the holder. So stay using our arc tool. We'll create a curve, a tangent between the straight line and the curved lines. Okay, I think we're good from this point, and this should work. Okay, this should work. So we'll erase those excess parts, and the image is not too clear, but I think we can work with this. Using the arc tool, we'll create an arc, a straight line, another arc. Since we already have a shape under, SketchUp is going to ask us if we want to merge the new shape drawn to the existing geometry, since we're drawing a new shape from the edge of the geometry that was existing to connect it to another point of that same geometry. So we'll click OK, and we delete the excess part. Okay, I think we have the primary shape of our bulb. We can make that a group for now. I'll move on to other details. Okay, looking at the reference image, this part of the pendant holder is not enclosed, so we have to make it open. So we'll make it a smaller rectangle instead of making it a bigger rectangle to the reference point. Okay, we'll try to reduce the rectangle for the pendant holder. Then we'll create a reference line for the globe down to the pendant holder under. Okay, I'll take the extension of the globe to the highest point of the pendant holder. Okay, we have to erase that part because we're not making use of that, and we don't need these two edges either. We can hide this for now, hide this and make both of them a group. We'll explode the group We use our line tool to create a new shape for the globe, which is, I'm talking about the shade. Okay, now we use our arc tool to create a tangent between the straight line and the curved line for the shade. We'll erase that part that's not needed. Okay, we'll take out this part and we'll repeat the same thing for the upper part of the shade. Then using the offset tool, select those edges and we'll make a little offset of 0.12 inches and we'll clear that part. This will act as our shade. So we've gotten our shade, we've gotten parts of our bulb and some parts of the pendant holder and the pendant canopy. Next, I will not be creating this lower part of the pendant holder. Since we have a similar shape on top, we're going to duplicate that later. Okay, looking at the details, I think we're done with some major parts here. Okay, create a rectangle, use our push and pull tool, make it a cube, make that a group, and I'm going to scale the model by 10 because using the follow me tool, some shapes will be hard to recreate using the follow me tool into 3D. So we scale by 10 to increase the model. We'll scale it back by 1/10 to bring it back to the original size. Okay, next we'll create a circle, increase the segments to 120. We don't need to make it a group since that's going to be our guide for every other shapes that we need to implement the follow me tool for. So we'll use our follow me tool, we'll make the pendant canopy into 3D and we'll repeat the same thing for the pendant cable. We'll explode the cable using our circle as a reference point and use our follow me tool. We'll click on the cable, and if you notice, I always make everything a group when I'm done. Okay, I tend to hide those. Selecting the edges of our bulb holder will create an offset from the edge of the bulb holder to the point where it connects the bulb to make a new shape for the bulb holder. Using our follow me tool, we'll repeat the same process that we've been doing for the previous shapes. Turn that into a 3D, make it a group, and we'll hide that. We'll repeat the same process for the shade. We'll explode the group, click on our reference point, use our follow me tool to make that into a 3D. Repeat the same thing for the pendant holder that connects the pendant cables to the shade. So we select the edges of the bulb, we'll offset by let's work with 1/2 inch. No, that's too big. Okay, 2.5, that's too big. 10 is too big, so let's work with 1 inch. Okay, we explode this shape, select our reference points, click on, use the follow me tool, we'll click on the shape, and here you go, we have our bulb in 3D. So we'll make that a group. Okay, we can hide our reference image and let's see what we have here. Okay, we need to create a circle that would follow the path of this curve that was drawn. We can duplicate this cube as our reference point. Okay, we'll create a circle, we'll increase the number of segments, we'll make our reference line for that circle and the circle a group. Okay, we missed something here. Okay, we duplicate the reference line, explode that and make it one group. Using the follow me tool and the line as our reference, we'll make a 3D shape from this. Okay, have this as a group, make it a group. Okay, now we unhide the rest of the model. I think we have almost everything done. We just need to duplicate this holder that connects the pendant cable to the globe. The globe, which is the shade, will be sitting on this pendant holder. We'll hide our reference image and the shapes we use for creating our follow me, and we can make this a group. Sorry, that was a mistake. Okay, move our reference image and we rotate our pendant light. We're almost done here. Okay, we are still having our pendant lights in white, so let's apply some materials and see if we are on track. I'll first apply black to the whole model, then we'll click on glass, apply glass to our shade and glass for the bulb. Okay, to take out the lines under the shade, we use the soften edge tool. Okay, I'm missing a detail here. We're supposed to have a little extension of the pendant holder, so create a second. I think 4 inches should work. Increase the number of segments, 120. We'll use our push and pull tool by 1 inch. I think 1 inch should be enough, or let's go with 2.5. So 2.5 inches, make that a group. We activate our hidden lines. We duplicate this cylinder to the other side. Okay, no, I think we have our pendant lights, but the shade is looking a little bit dark, so we increase the opacity of the shade, the glass, and here you go, the on 14 inches pendant light. Thank you guys for watching.